What's up, YouTube? It's James Rabel here, aka The Rage, and today's going to be our first episode on this new channel, this new idea that I'm doing. And guess what? I am not going to talk about hockey. Oh my god. Yes, I'm going to talk about something else today. Mark Sanchez and Tim Tebow, the eternal, the heavenly, no, not heavenly, debate that goes on between the two of them and who should start, who should sit, and the state of the Jets. And my feeling as somebody looking from the outside in, the Jets are afraid. The Jets are very afraid of having to sit Mark Sanchez if that time comes. For one simple reason. Tim Tebow is the backup quarterback. If it was Greg McElroy or somebody else, I don't think there would be an issue. Because it's Tim Tebow, who has a track record of once he becomes the starter, a la Denver Broncos, his college team, which I think were the Gators, Florida Gators, yes. Once he takes over, he's not giving it up. And that's something that you should be afraid of. Because why'd you bring Tim Tebow in here in the first place? To motivate Mark Sanchez, to make him a better quarterback, and to run the Wildcat. I don't know how wild the Wildcat really is. The San Francisco 49ers did a better job running the option in the Wildcat against the Jets than the Jets have ever done since they started doing it, but that's besides the point. The Jets can't be afraid to sit Mark Sanchez if they need to. And last night he had a pretty decent game, but is decent going to cut it for what the New York Jets want to do, which is they talk a good game about winning Super Bowls every year and how they have the best team and how they're going to win, but on the field they never do it. And talk is cheap, and talking all the time will get tiring, very, very quickly. So for the Jets, I offered up an example, and this is an example that Mike Francesa of WFAN mentioned last week, I believe it was, or a couple weeks ago. So I don't want to take credit for this. He was the one who mentioned it, and I did a little research on it. Go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s and the 80s, the dynasty that they were back then. When Terry Bradshaw was the same age as Mark Sanchez, 25 years old. He had already been in the NFL for a couple seasons, but I believe it was the 1974 season. Chuck Noll, head coach, decided, you know what, I'm going to sit Terry Bradshaw. He's not going to play, and he sat for 6 games, and their backup played. And then Noll decided, all right, I think Bradshaw's ready to go back in and be our starting quarterback. They won 4 Super Bowls after that. Now, is Mark Sanchez Terry Bradshaw? Not at all. There are two different levels here. Terry Bradshaw's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Mark Sanchez is not. But the point I'm trying to make is still there. You can't be afraid to sit Mark Sanchez because it just might be the kick in the butt that he needs to get it going, to have everything snap back into action, if you will. And I'm going to put a link up to the research that I found up here, somewhere. I'll put it up here for everybody to look at so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's just one example of others where, don't sit them for a play or two, or make a statement by saying, if you cannot get it going, if you can't be the quarterback that we need, then we will put Tebow in because he gives us the best chance to win football games. And that's the question that every head coach in any sport has to ask. Who do I need to put in to give us the best chance at winning? Is it Mark Sanchez right now, or is it Tim Tebow? I couldn't give you a definitive answer either way. So if it keeps going down a slippery slope, it's going to be Tim Tebow's time at some point. Maybe that's what Mark Sanchez needs. But we'll find out as we get going here.